We were heading into a region that was heavily controlled by the military and bordered by China, Pakistan, and India.
At the time, the possibility of flight seemed uncertain.
The area was certainly familiar with drones, however more of the type that delivered death and destruction. So the concept of us trying to bring in a custom-built octocopter from the US was skeptical and probably impossible.
Over here at One Eye Open, we're having this conversation with Larkin, our drone pilot, and our contacts in India. And they were working with the Indian government and the military, trying to secure these very specific permits that isolated it in these regions where we could fly. It was amazing we even got them.
Hey guys! How's it going?
Good, how was it?
Every single customs place is such a pain in the ass.
Oh, really? They
Yeah,
kind of suspect you
they're
had
like,
something?
you can't have that many batteries. Like,
Oh,
you can't.
okay. Okay.
Talk my way through a lot. So hopefully it's all here. We've been assured that we will be able to fly here, but they have been incredibly sensitive, even just holding a camera. And so they are gonna flip out when they see this thing flying.
So anything that flies is basically, we have to call it a toy. So Larkin's profession has been degraded to a toy helicopter. But that was only the permission to fly. We still had the giant if of whether the craft would even take off at 18,000 feet.
So we're making our way up to Kaldungla village. Right now, 15,150 feet. And we're going on a location recce, looking for some epic shots, particularly for Larkin's toy copter. And it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to take a bad shot up here.
We have a few really unusual features here that I want to fly, and one of the wildest places I've been on the planet, and I'm very excited to do some aerials here.
The craft was custom built by Larkin, our drone pilot, and it was specifically designed to fly at high altitudes. However, there's nowhere high enough to test this in the US.
So this is one gamble after another. We hadn't gone to the altitude and strained the batteries, strained its abilities. We just weren't sure.
What elevation are we at, Eric?
16.7.
16.7, all right. Highest flight of my personal experience.
We just flew the copter up here with Falco aerials, and this is an epic flight and certainly a first because we just shot the Karakoram range and we have Pakistan directly on the other side of that range and China just over here.
Would this explain why we have
We have a police escort which helps us fly here in India.
There's a very, very sensitive region, and they want to make sure that we're not doing anything crazy.
This is a really kind of a special moment. Bringing these copters in for use for creativity rather than what they're used to with war in this region that is a huge history of violence.
Much of the world is inaccessible to filmmakers, particularly aerial cinematographers. So even with the right permissions, we still weren't guaranteed anything.
We are all the way up at the top of Kaldungla Pass, and this is at 18,380 feet.
We're at the military checkpoint and we have permission to fly. We just need to check it by them. Don't want to surprise them with what we're doing. We've got permission to film, and he's going to pack it up to film on the snowfield now.
So we have my highest flight, and we get to film right next to a military checkpoint, which is amazing for India.
One of the keys to this production was time. We were there to film the world's highest marathon, a one-day event, but we arrived 2 weeks in advance.
We had to solidify our relationships with our ground contacts, gain their trust. We had to train up alternate cameramen for the drone.
It did give us an incredible exposure to a country that was previously inaccessible to aerial cinematography.
So we took our time to explore the culture and the geography of the region. We were able to fly over these amazing 15th century Buddhist monasteries.
We were taken to canyons carved out by the Indus River. We flew over camels on the Nubra Valley floor.
It was an exciting thing for us to do and allowed us to bring this region from a different perspective back to the audience.
Of course, none of this was possible without our people.
The foreigners and the locals coming together through film.